You are about to give yourself more permission than you have ever given yourself to express, to try, to show up imperfectly, to take up space in a way that you have been conditioned out of since childhood. I like to think of permission as like a circle. There is a circle surrounding each and every one of us, and from a very young age, we have been conditioned to keep this circle oppressively small. Why? Because, of course, society benefits from us shrinking ourselves and taking up less space than life itself feels called to take up. When you look at a tree or a plant, it's always stretching out to the sun, stretching towards the possibility of expansion. And like all of life, we have an inherent desire and need to expand. And so you have been feeling called to step into that next level of expansion. Maybe take up more space, start a creative project, or return to a creative identity that maybe you felt you claimed in childhood or in adolescence, but you lost touch with or let go of with time because of social pressure, because of capitalism, because of the unfolding of time. And now you are inviting yourself to reclaim and return to who you know you already are. In that reclamation and in that return, you are being invited to give yourself juicy, expansive, generous permission to not show up perfectly, to not have to have all the answers, to not have to have a 10-step plan before you allow yourself to start or take that sacred first step. Permission to explore, to try, to adventure, permission to forgive yourself and to not approach this new journey, this new adventure with a sense of already always being not good enough. Permission to celebrate your every step as though it is a Grammy moment. Something that I am always trying to give myself more permission for is to show up imperfectly. I have a lot of childhood messaging and conditioning, the schools I went to and the family I grew up in terms of needing to be perfect and needing to have everything just perfect in order for me to be able to show up. And as a creative and as an artist, an identity that I've worked to be able to claim for myself, and we are all artists, and more of us are stepping into our artistic identity, which again, by design, society doesn't want us stepping out of the circle. By necessity, artists live outside of that circle. So do queer people, so do Black people, so do disabled people. So society will always try to repress people who sprawl out of, so do women, and so do many of us who just see the world in a way that is rooted in softness, in love, in connection, not rooted in growth at all costs or in capitalism or supremacy or hierarchy. So whenever we color outside of these lines, whenever we try to stretch beyond the repressive conditioning that society has given us, there's going to be a message that we are unsafe. And our nervous system is going to interpret this as being unsafe. So as you expand this circle, give yourself permission to do so in a way that may not always feel perfect, in a way that could be messy, in a way that goes against everything you've been told you're allowed to be. And know that as you expand that circle, you bring so many people around you with you, because we have all felt the infectiousness, the contagion in a beautiful way of permission. When you see someone giving themselves permission to show up imperfectly or to express or to be seen, not only in their perfections or in their accolades or in their highest moments, but to be seen in their vulnerability, to be seen in their divine imperfection, to be seen in their sacred humanity, it gives you permission to feel like, wow, if they're doing it, if she's allowing herself to express in that way, if he's being so generous as to allow himself to be seen in a moment that society tells you you should be hiding, maybe I get to do that as well. So these circles are not individual circles that we each live in. There's also collective circles. And there are some people who are the boundary pushers who push out the collective permission circle and allow us all to expand, allow us all to take up more space. And if you're watching this video, you are a cycle breaker for the collective. By you giving yourself permission, there are people who are going to absorb that permission and freedom from you and through you. You are here as someone who is a liberator, a path shower, a wayfinder. So trust that you are meant to have ripple effects on the collective that you cannot even imagine or conceive. And what that is asking you to do currently is to ask yourself, what am I being invited to give myself more permission to experience? Something that I feel that just dropped in is infinite worthiness. When we give ourselves permission to see ourselves and each other as unconditionally, infinitely worthy, then we don't always feel like we are being subjected to even our own conditional love. Conditional love says, if you do this right, if you do this well, if you do this in a way that is externally validated, then I'll be proud of you, then I'll love you. Unconditional love is beyond any outcome or result. It is saying, I'm always on your side. Give yourself permission to always unconditionally be on your own side. Give yourself permission to be proud of your efforts, even if there's no external, visible result or achievement that other people might celebrate you for. You know, I've been going through a period on YouTube where my views are very low, and I'm giving myself permission to show up still and to not allow humiliation or the fear of being seen as a failure, or even by myself, as stopping me from sharing my voice. I'm also giving myself permission to not have to share something groundbreaking in order to be able to share. You know, you've heard the message, give yourself permission, before, but there can be this desire as a creative, as an artist, as a speaker, as a writer, to say something that's never been said before or never quite been said in the same way. As people who desire and love creativity, we can also then hold ourselves to standards that then actually limit our own creativity. Because when we think about it, what we are lacking is not information. We live in the information economy and age. What we're lacking is wisdom. What we're lacking is love. And so if you have a loving thing to write, say, express, there can never be enough people speaking in a loving way. There can never be enough people homing in the same messages of love. One of the central tenets of wisdom in all wisdom faiths and traditions. It goes across Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, many different indigenous forms of relating to one another, is the idea of treating others as you would treat yourself. This is ancient wisdom. This is universal wisdom. And yet, do you look around? Do you see that happening? So does that mean we should only say the most novel thing ever, or actually are the most fundamental principles words we've all heard before and yet haven't fully embodied, haven't fully stepped into? So I know, intellectually, my mind is like, I know I need to give myself permission. Am I? Am I giving myself permission to show up imperfectly? Am I giving myself permission to go through ebbs and flows with the visible aspects of my work and the views and the likes and all those things? Am I giving myself permission to have dips, and to not measure my worth as a creative in this algorithmic sense of these platforms? Am I also giving myself permission to own the desire that many of us have to resonate, to create work that resonates, and therefore to feel like when we go through these dips, are my highs as an artist behind me? Have I already created my best work? You know what I mean? So I'm giving myself permission, and now I'm giving myself permission to be seen in my vulnerability, to be seen in the tension between, yes, I want to not be driven by these external measures of success, but also, I once said this to a coaching client, it is so human to want to resonate and to want to also succeed in the language that you've been given of success by the society that you live in. And in this world of visibility, that language is, well, who's watching? How many people are watching? And your worth can become tied to these numbers, which I really work so hard to not make the case, but also I'm human. And also sometimes my ego and my soul are in a dance, and one wants one thing and the other wants the other, and I try to integrate both. Where is that centerpiece where ego and soul meet? The integration of all these parts of me. And for me, that is expression. Sometimes I'm like words, the mouth even. So, what are you being invited to expand that circle of permission for, so that you walk around giving yourself more space? And notice that everyone has a circle of permission. There's a volume of voice that some people will just never use. There's gestures that some people will just never reach out and do because we're taught to shrink. There are allowances. Have you noticed some people in public spaces are very good at speaking to strangers or being vulnerable, offering a question or a word, and other people don't give themselves permission to do that? And so what does that person then do? By being the inviter, they invite the person who doesn't give themselves permission to speak to strangers to now suddenly feel like they get to speak to a stranger. So know that you play a very sacred role, and that we are all here as liberators. And liberation doesn't happen on a mass scale always. Often it's you show up in a way that sometimes makes your mom or your elders think differently, or vice versa. Or you show up in a way that allows your cousins to be like, oh my word, that's possible. So know that you are here to play a divine role of expanding our possibilities, but it starts with you. This is where the individual and the collective meet. Of course, we know these are intrinsically connected. We cannot separate them. But what I believe is like a collective understanding of purpose. By you following what is your calling, following what is your purpose, following what is on your heart to follow, there's an intrinsic social component to it, because you'll notice your purpose involves other people. Your purpose involves, if you want to sing, people in the crowd listening to you, people resonating with your music, feeling seen by your music. If you want to write, people reading your words, and then editors and publishers. Like every single dream is a social dream framed as an individualistic dream. So when you honor that calling within you, trust that there are people who are here to come along on that journey with you, to expand through you, to grow with you as a vessel of their growth. So, what are you being invited yourself to give yourself permission to do, be, or experience, to honor, to reclaim, to return to? Put your permission slip in the comments below, and I would love to read us all uplifting each other, giving each other and ourselves permission, because when you see someone giving themselves more permission, you cannot help but absorb, like a plant absorbing, by osmosis, this feeling that, oh wow, I resonate with that, resonates with me. I want to do that more. I want to allow myself to speak freely. I want to allow myself to make mistakes. I want to allow myself to show up even when I don't have something groundbreaking to say, because I value my wisdom intrinsically. And I know that novelty is sort of this capitalist and patriarchal myth that actually everything we need to know, we on some level already do know. Love is a supreme gift. I just saw a book by Paulo Coelho on this. There's no every other rule. There's nothing more important, he's writing in this book, than love. Have we heard that before? Yes. Does that mean a book on it is less divine because it's heard before? No. Love is the ultimate teaching, and yet none of us really, all of us, even the most loving among us, can always learn how to be more loving to ourselves and to others and to the earth, because we would live in a different earth if we were all manifestations of the love that we are here to return to being. So go give yourself permission. Comment below if you feel called to give yourself permission and thereby others. This is a conversation that started within Soulcraft. This is a creative community for big dreamers to do the work of our dreams together. If you feel called, the link is below. I'm sending so much love and so much permission to you, for all our recovering perfectionists, for all people who are trying to unlearn everything that represses, oppresses, and dims their light, for anyone who refuses to be their own imprisoner, because we're literally being made to self-monitor and be self-vigilant and to not be a liberating force towards ourselves. Why? Because that makes the system that much more effective. Because the easiest way to oppress people is to have them oppress themselves. And for many of us, it's both. Because of all the systems that are interlocking, everyone is sort of oppressed by both, but in very different ways. I don't want to homogenize that at all. But I just want to say, give yourself permission. In you giving yourself permission, not only do you heal a sacred part of the planet, which is you, you also, by instruction, by demonstration, by embodiment, you help other people feel permission through you and give permission to themselves and to therefore others, thereby this ripple effect in the direction of love and liberation. I'm sending so much love to you. I hope this has served your deepest consciousness. It is a gift to say something not groundbreaking to you today. I feel so proud, so delighted, so overjoyed. What a juicy invitation to even be able to say that which does not break ground, because sometimes the ground just needs a little bit of a pat, a little bit of a step through, not a breaking. You know what I mean? Not a huge, impact doesn't have to be huge. The smallest scale of impact matters, and you matter, and your permission giving and receiving matters. So let this be your receiving of permission. My gift to you is the invitation that you've already heard before, which is divine, to give yourself more permission. I'm sending so much love and light to you, and I will see you on the next soul session. I love you. Bye. My darling, my love, my soul sibling, thank you for stepping into the Soul Salon. If you are still hearing or watching this, we are soul siblings. We are resonating on the same frequency. And so something you may struggle with, that I struggle with, is the fear of being seen. You know that visibility is involved in you living your creative purpose and being in your power, serving the collective through your gifts, through your magic, through your medicine. In order to do that, you know you need to be more seen than you are allowing yourself to be right now. I have a gift just for you, heart-made for us on this frequency, and it is a free ebook called the Soulful Visibility Guide. That is soulful visibility. Like, we don't just want to be seen, we want to be felt, we want to be heard, we want to move and be moved. So I do have a free gift for you, and all you need to do is go to my website, ayandastood.com, and there you will be able to input your email address and receive this directly to your inbox. This is such a juicy and delicious guide, and I change the free offering every few months, so get it while you can. All the links are in the show notes. So thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you on the next soul session. Okay, I love you. Bye.